Do you have any friends that are ugly?
It's Sissy's Soup.
Well, I'm not talking about looking ugly. I'm talking about acting ugly. I have a friend that acts ugly, and I bet you know who I'm talking about too. Velma Thompson. Now let me start off by saying that I'm not going to say anything I haven't already said right to her face, and frankly, she just doesn't care. That's what's so frustrating. I have known Velma Thompson all my life. She was never quite right. In kindergarten, she used to bite people and hit them, and she used to steal food right out of their lunch boxes. One time she had a big fit and locked herself in the bathroom, and her daddy had to come down and get her out. And that was all just in the first week of kindergarten. She was mean and stubborn even then. I got a Barbie doll for my 6th birthday. I loved it. She was so beautiful. Velma stole it. She tore the head off, and she cut the hair back right to the scalp. Then she put it in a box, put a ribbon on it, and gave it back to me like it was a gift. I opened it up, and I just stood there and screamed and screamed. Mama wouldn't even let her come over for a long time after that. Velma Thompson was a primary school terrorist. I remember when she learned you could kick a boy in a certain place and he would double over in pain. She thought that was hysterical. All the boys were terrified of her. She would just wait for recess to see how many she could get. The only way she got dates in high school was that she was willing to do things the rest of us weren't. Well, Velma got it honest. She came from a long line of ugly women. The tradition was passed down mother to daughter over quite a few generations. My grandma knew Velma's great-great-grandma, and she said that a meaner woman never walked the face of the earth. The story was that her husband left his shoes in the middle of the floor one day, and she picked up an iron skillet and hit him in the head right here. Like to killed him. The man had a bump on his head the size of a baseball till the day he died. That's the blood that flows in Velma's veins. And you know, I can't remember her mama ever saying a kind word to me. So I bet you're wondering, why do I have anything to do with this woman at all? Well, I've always loved a challenge. I was determined to treat her with love and respect, whether I thought she deserved it or not. My grandma tricked me into it when I was little. She told me, she said, Jesus will be real happy if you could stay friends with Velma. Blackmail. But it worked. Here's a short list of stunts I've had to put up with over the years. In the 6th grade, she got caught at school with cigarettes, and she told the teacher they were mine. In the 8th grade, she told all the boys that I stuffed my bra with newspaper. In the 11th grade, she went out with a boy I was dating behind my back and slept with him. Twice. And that's just the tip of the iceberg. But as Mr. Johnson used to say, Sissy, if you won't put up with her, who will? There was one time, though, that I had had enough. Velma told a lie that set her kids to fighting with each other. Now, she's got one son in prison. His name's Billy. And she's got another son that's just barely managing to stay out of prison, and his name is Bobby. Now, she told Billy, the one in prison, that his brother Bobby had been sneaking around with his girlfriend behind his back. Well, when Billy got out of prison, briefly, he came looking for his brother Bobby. He said he was going to kill him. Well, Velma loved it. It was just horrible, and not a word of it was true. Billy's girlfriend was sleeping with the Baptist preacher's son. Anyway, I had to step in and straighten it out. Thank God Billy listens to me. Velma thought the whole thing was hysterical, and that was enough for me. I told Velma, I said, "This is the end. Don't call me, don't talk to me. If you see me walking down the street, move over to the other side." Well, that took her by surprise. She came over here sobbing and wailing and begging for forgiveness. I was her only friend. What would she do? Yada, 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 yada. I made her sweat it out, though. A few weeks later, I gave in, but I told her, if you hurt those boys again, there will be hell to pay. Well, she was good as gold for a few months, but then it all started back up again, and she was back to her old tricks. You remember she tricked Sue Lynn into dyeing my hair blue. Well, just to keep her in check, every now and then I send a little note to her in the mail. It's just a plain piece of white paper folded in half, and all that's written on it is, "I'm watching you." No signature, no return address, just, "I'm watching you." She asked me one time if it was me that sent those notes. I just pretended not to have any idea what she was talking about. Keeps her on her toes. Well, do you have an ugly friend like Velma? 'Cause if you do, I'd like to hear about it. Leave a comment down below. All right then. As bad as I hate to, I have to say, it's good to quit talking to you. Now go on out there and make a friend. Go on. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.